What's legal, but if you do it, you still look like a psychopath. Entering an elevator full of people and not turning to face the door. I suppose you're all wondering why I've gathered you here today. Wearing a wedding gown to someone else's wedding. This reminds me that in my uncle's wedding, my grandma said that I should use a white dress I had because it was nice. But I just picked up another one since I thought it was weird, just like some other people there. When it was the wedding, the bride was in a pink dress and OFC my grandma was smug about that, lol. One of the politicians in our country bit into a hot dog sideways and in the middle, like a sandwich. It was so weird that it was in the newspapers the next day. Slow news day obviously, but made him look like an idiot. Walking around in public with a glass of water from home. Using both hands to put on chapstick. Stop responding midway through an IRL convo, but maintain eye contact. When someone is holding a door open for you, when a place has double doors and you just say F it and take the other door instead. Eating unwrapped food from inside your pockets. This reminds me of a guy who we named Nuggets at my old job. He was fairly new and apparently didn't get to eat his lunch completely, so he stuffed chicken nuggets and ketchup packets in his pockets. He would look around, stuff a nugget in his mouth, a little bit of ketchup, and then chew really fast, lol. I'll let him finish his nuggets up, and then told him it's okay to eat at your station, lol. My boss used to apply his lip balm while making firm eye contact with me at the end of the day. Used to creep me out, and I'm still unsure why he did it like that. Standing silently at night along a forest road. Working out in a suit. Instead of holding the door open, especially at a restaurant with dual double doors, you close them right after you exit the building. The place where I work had an incident recently where someone came into the building, found an unlocked office, and stole some stuff. So they sent out an email saying don't let people follow you in. Pretty standard advice. Everyone ignores this. Isn't a secure complex of any kind. You need to swipe a card to open the outer doors, but there's no security. I was coming back from lunch. A lady in front of me swiped in, opened the door point, and then firmly closed it behind her. While shopping, pulling what you want out of other people's carts before they buy them. Done this by accident because I mistook it for a cart an employee was using to put stuff on the shelf. I saw a whole cart of socks and needed them, but they didn't have the type I needed on the shelf because an old man was buying them all. Wearing a wedding gown everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I had a classmate who would wear hers to really hard exams. She said she loved the way she looked in it, and it made her feel great about herself. So she'd wear it as a motivational boost. It was a little weird but really fun. Pulling your pants and underwear all the way down to pee at a men's urinal. I knew a kid in elementary school who did this. Normally he would use the stalls, but one time he did it at the urinal and yelled oops I'm not in the stall, then turned and made and held eye contact when I looked. Course he yelled. Standing next to someone at a urinal even when there is an open one at the opposite end of the row. Casually eating a stick of butter during a business meeting. My aunt did this once. In her defense, she had just had surgery and was high on morphine and thought it was a cheese platter. Why was your aunt attending a business meeting high on morphine? Eating a banana with the skin on. I used to do this in middle school just to joke with people. Eating people meat. It's not illegal in 49 states, but you can't kill a person or desecrate a corpse. But you can buy human parts under research, and as long as you're not buying organs for transplant, highly illegal, you can serve it to others, and even do it in front of the cops. Not that I would recommend that, but legally you can. It's apparently tasty, as one guy apparently turned his cut off foot into tacos. Smelling clothes at the retail shop. Never buy anything, just smell it. Walking backwards in public. So I saw this couple walking backwards down the middle of my street and thought how weird. Looked out the window 1 minute later and there they were again walking backwards in the same spot. Went to the kitchen window and again walking backwards. But I had never seen them walk forwards to get back to that position. At this point I think I'm stuck in a time loop. I show my roommate to prove I'm not crazy, and this time we see them walk forwards back to the top of the street. So we watch them for several cycles just walking forwards, then backwards, up and down the street, just holding casual conversation. Figure it must be a workout routine or something, but WTF. Farting and deeply inhaling it in public. Wearing the skin of a roast chicken like a mask. Licking doorknobs. Putting vinegar on mac cheese. I found out that it curdles the cheese. Did it once, never again. Blasting Highway to Hell during a funeral. My dad had this as a ringtone, since it's one of his favorite songs. He works for a small family business, so him and the other employees were invited to the boss's mother's funeral. Accidentally forgot to set his phone on silent, and he got a call, so the song starts blasting during the service. Thankfully everyone thought it was funny. Doing yard work at night. My riding mower has headlights on it, and honestly it creeps me out to think of someone mowing at night. Sending orange juice and coffee to random people in a restaurant at dinner, and when they look over at you give them a little salute and a knowing smile. A friend of mine eats the crust of the pizza first, like he eats the complete pizza crust of the whole pizza, and then the rest. Crazy bastard. A manager I once had been reading a how to manage people book, which ended up with him telling me I was doing a good job, shaking my hand normally, then just standing still for 30 seconds, still holding my hand, in complete silence, staring directly into my eyes. Was supposed to be a reassuring show of dominance or some such, but it was just weird and creepy. Carrying around a blow-up doll that you claim to be married to. Vacuuming your yard. Great chemical-free way to keep dandelions from spreading. I lived in China for several years. The men clear their throats really loudly and spit point like all the time, everywhere. Even in decent sit-down restaurants the men will spit on the floor. It's so normal. Waitstaff are in the habit of putting newspapers down on the floor for groups of men who are there to eat, drink, and socialize. I can put up with a lot point, but that's one thing that got me every time. Sitting on a park bench, opening a jar of mayonnaise, and furiously eating the contents with just your bare hands. Microwaving your ice cream. It's not my fault your freezer is set to absolute zero, mom. Either get a fridge that works, or get off my A. Not leaving a one booth space in a public urinal. Using your knife and fork to slice each french fry into small dainty pieces. This isn't really an answer, but anyway, a few years ago my next door neighbor was very fond of an after work, late afternoon gin and tonic. One afternoon he poured himself a good slug of gin, and realized he had no tonic, so the neighborhood was treated to the sight of him, clutching his glass of gin, going from door to door asking for tonic water. Watching television, but it's your neighbor's television, and you're standing on the sidewalk outside their window. Wearing your underwear over your pants. My dog attacked a bird, and I fell to my knees, Braverhead style, screaming no, looked up, and my neighbor was standing outside drinking his coffee watching the whole thing. I said he ate a bird. Neighbor said nothing, sipped his coffee and eventually walked back in his house. I was unraveled by the whole situation. But when I went inside the first thing I said was the neighbor is a effing psychopath. But for the record I also brought a cup of ice water in just a regular cup from home to work the other day. Oh my god. I've also kept chicken in my pockets and purse and called it pocket chicken. Not making any attempts to dry your hands after washing them.